Hi, welcome back to JavaScript CS 112, the JavaScript coding class, and today we are going to cover the jQuery UI. Basically, we will discuss about how to use jQuery plugin and UI widgets. Now, during the last week, we introduced you to jQuery and just go through the examples from the book and go through different other examples like given in chapter chapter 9 and 10, the loading the images. I mean, we already discussed about the slider application, so just follow those examples, and now we can study how we can use the jQuery plugins and UI widgets. These are important because in the real-time application, I mean, jQuery has a very wide usage, even not only even as a standard plugin to your website, but also when you use the framework, popular JavaScript frameworks like React, Angular, they have jQuery plugin within that, and they build their own components based on the jQuery plugins. So that's why it is important to know about the jQuery plugins usage. Now, why do we need any jQuery plugin in the first place, or UI widgets? The answer is this is an easy way to add common features like, for example, accordions, tabs, carousels to your web pages, and this gives you very ready-made code. You have to just add or include certain JavaScript file. Those are the plugins basically, and you will get a whole lot of animation. Now, it is not sufficient to just include certain files. I mean, provide you have to call certain APIs by passing certain parameters. So that's what we are going to learn today. Now, how do you search for a jQuery plugin? I mean, it's pretty simple. I mean, basically you have to do Google. I mean, let's say you do like the slide says. I mean, jQuery rotator plugin. If you do, you will find a lot of rotator plugin, and there are so so you can see the jQuery plugin registry. I mean, there are a lot of websites that supports those plugins, but one of them, I mean, you can do the plugins.jquery.com. That gives that this one that gives you a lot of examples of how to use the rotators, and they have also lot of examples. So that is the main main advantage. So you can see here the jQuery water wheel carousel. I mean, a lot of examples are given here. Words rotator. So if you click on that, you will see I mean, different tag information, and then you can download the detail of the plugin, and then that's it. I mean, that's pretty much it is. You will find from here. Okay, it can be downloaded from GitHub as well. You can go to the home page and just see different oops, home page is somehow broken here, but in any case, from the plugins.jquery.com, whichever plugin you want to download, this is the page that I would bookmark, and then whatever plugin I want to work with, I simply we can simply download those. So if you go there, like water wheel carousel, so you can see a lot of examples there. So if you go to GitHub, there are examples given, and you can also download it, but we are going to learn how to use this type of plugins right now. So the websites for finding jQuery plugins, as I mentioned before, so use this slide as your reference. Basically, you have to there are a lot of examples across the web, World Wide Web, but we cannot just use any example for granted. So the official sites or authentic sites are here. Let's say jQuery plugin registry. This is the official jQuery plugin site. Then you can have the Google code.google.com, or GitHub page, or you can get it from the source forge. These are the basically reliable resources for downloading the jQuery plugins. Now, for image, for example, if you want to talk about the images, I mean jQuery application, what do we use jQuery? We can use a lot of things for the jQuery. We can use the images, we can use the different slideshows, carousels, and also the data validation. We can also use jQuery for giving the sorting, quick sorting on the tables, like dynamic sorting, asynchronous sorting. So all those things, I mean, there is a huge list, so you can find most of the stuff from the websites that we discussed, right? So these are the popular plugins for displaying images. These are the popular plugins, but there can be other plugins as well. So if you go to the website and see whatever they offer, you will find a very complete list of the jQuery plugins that you might be interested. So you can see here, like Ajax, for example, I was talking about. So if you do the Ajax, so it can facilitate pop-up, uh, like hands-on table. So jQuery table plugin is one of the very popular. I mean, it is used in many JavaScript frameworks as well. So I mean, there are a lot of different applications where they can be used. For example, here JTable is a popular application. So you can, if you go there, it contains different versions. You can download it and then you can use it whatever purpose you might want to use. So this one, for example, this is the most latest plugin for the JTable. What does it do? A jQuery plugin to create Ajax based CRUD tables, grids. It supports paging, sorting, selecting master child tables, show, hide, resize columns, localization, themes, and more. So this is the one. This is the jQuery like table plugin that I was talking about. So you can use it inside your code. So and just you have to pass certain API, so that I mean, you have to pass parameters to certain APIs to populate those tables. So to illustrate more, what is that? I mean, let's refer to the fork on GitHub. So if you go to the GitHub link for this particular table, JTable, you can see here that I mean, it has a lot of utility functions. So you can see here, the JTable gives you like output like that. So it can give you somehow the link to the, I mean, populate your data, and it can give you the sorting. It can give you the very give you a number of slick like utilities, like export to Excel, add new record. I mean, all those cool stuff you can do. The CRUD means actually create, read, um, update, and delete. So it supports all the options. I mean, like reading and updating in a rough word. So this JTable is a very popular plugin. I mean, you will find it in many sites, many web pages. So the application of it, and so you can use it. This is for our usage, and we can always plug in this to our code. So these are the steps for using a plugin within your web pages. For example, you have to study the documentation for the plugin. So go to the website and see what are the requirements for the plugin. Then you can get the URLs for the plugin files if they are available via a CDN, or you can download the files and save them in one of the folders of your website. In the head element of HTML, code the link elements for any CSS files that are needed. And finally, at the end of the body element, code the script element for the JavaScript files that are needed. Now, if the download for a plugin includes an images folder, make sure that folder has the right structural relationship, like the navigational structure, with CSS and JavaScript files for the plugin. Then you code the HTML and CSS for the pages so it's appropriate for the plugin. If necessary, you can write the JavaScript and jQuery code that uses the methods and options of the plugin. I meant the calling the APIs. So you have to mention, you have to maintain two, I mean, you have to aware of two things when you are using such plugins. First of all, we have to make sure to include a script element for jQuery before the script element for the plugin, and some plugins do not work with the latest version of jQuery. So if you have problems with a plugin, then we need to check its documentation to see which version of jQuery it supports. So those are the important steps for using the jQuery. Now we will do some examples. So in the first example, we are going to use this example. Actually, we won't be discussing a lot of examples in the class, but you will find those in the books, and also along with the book you will get the student downloads, and in those download files you will get all the examples in an elaborate way. We are going to discuss the BX slider plugin in this class. So here is the rough structure of the BX slider code base. So you have, for example, you have the images folder, you have the JavaScript folder where we have stored the jQuery minified JavaScript library. So this is the minified library, means it is not a regular JavaScript file. It is, it's a, if you open it, you will see immediately. It's a very compressed file so that it avoids any space usage, because always the JavaScript code always it runs on the client's browser. So it is important for the programmer to make sure that it is not overflowing any memory unit, anything on the client's machine. So this is the minified JavaScript library. So our B slider library is here, BX slider library is here, and then you have the index.html. Let's go in a little detail about this index. It's very simple for our understanding purposes. So as with any HTML file, it starts with the tag HTML, then it includes head, body, and within the body it has multiple sections. So in this case there is only one section. We are following HTML5 guidelines. So these tags are very very nicely mapped with whatever it means. It's not like the old HTML where you have to write a lot of boilerplate scripting elements to make sure certain displays are being served on the web page. So these are very within the section, this tag, there are code underneath in the HTML area, so that actually serves you the right page. So you can see here, it is about us. This is a header, then it writes something, and then it gives you certain images. So we will see it, but it gives you certain images, and the image ID is the slider, the ID of the images. Then comes the scripts. So first of all, we included the jQuery 3.1.1 library here, and we use the slider BX slider minified library for invoking the functionality of the slider. So as I mentioned before, once you call it again, you have to call to bx slider API or function. This is as simple as this one. So once the document is ready to be loaded, then we call the slider. I mean, this is the slider element, the UI ID slider, so that's why you are passing this slider element here. So this is compatible with whatever ID you are passing to, and then you call the bx slider API. So there are multiple options with the bx slider API. So this is automatic, I mean auto controls, captions, minimum number of slides, maximum number of slides, width and margin, and that's all for the slides. So there are CSS files in addition. We are not going into details of the CSS, but we would like to display this HTML file. So if we want to do that, then it should look like this one. So once you display it, you can see that we have this one. So the slide is moving, you can see. So you can, by hand you can move the slides as well. So you can click on the links and to move the slides, so you can do these moving buttons for moving the slides. And most importantly, you can see that it is moving like a it is rotating basically. So you will get a lot of previous pictures as well. So this is the functionality of the slide, and it is done by bx slider module. So this is an example of bx slider. You can see how easy it is. On your web page, typical web page, you can add sections like that. You can basically implement, you can include a web page, include an HTML from another HTML, and then you can basically link to it and then just use it like that. So this is an example of slider. There can be more example as such. Let's say we can have let's say the date picker. This is a very popular application. For the date picker, you can see that we are using the jQuery UI library, which is as a part, I mean, we downloaded the jQuery UI library here, and then these images, you can see there are a lot of images, UI icons, all those things part of the library. So the implementation is very simple. So here we have a date picker application HTML code. So again, it starts with HTML, then you have the head, right? And then you have the body section of the HTML. Inside the body, everything happens. So under the body, you have the main section. Again, this is HTML5, so you do not need to write a lot of boilerplate code. So once you get the main section under the body, you can set up the labels. Like we have an arbitrary label here, arrival date and input type. And this is most important thing. Whenever you do anything with jQuery, do not forget to assign ID to whichever element, whichever tag you want to use, you want to apply certain jQuery functionality to. So here we want to apply the functionality to the label. So you can see here that the scripts are included here, like jQuery, and then of course the UI. The date picker is a part of the jQuery UI library. You don't need to download any additional functionality for the date picker. It is a part of jQuery UI universal library. So here is how they implement it. So you can see the script element, then you do the date picker, and then you call the date picker function. So in general, you don't need any argument to pass here. So if you just run it, let's see how it works. So if I run and debug, and then web app, if I see here, you can see arrival date. Then as soon as you click your mouse cursor on the arrival date input field, you will be able to choose your dates, and you can see that today's date is selected by default. You can choose any date. Let us say 4th of October. So if you choose that, then you will see this one. Now, I mean, you can, that means, I mean, you can use it in many places. Like, for example, let's say we have an arrival date and we have another level. So let's say receive date, and then we can make the ID as date picker 1, and then we can simply like give it like this one. We can create another script element date picker 1, and then with all this, if you try to run this code again, it will look like this. So you have it is not very well featured, I mean well annotated HTML. Let us put a break between these lines. So if we do that by introducing a br tag, then you can see it is very even right now, and you can see arrival date, you can put it something like 10. Receive date, you should be able to see something there as well. Oh, okay, so there shouldn't be any s, so let's start it again. So you have arrival date, let's say 2nd October. Receive date, let us say 8th October. So you can create the date elements here. So that's basically the way it works. It's very simple. You don't need to include it to any kind of application server. Just from simplified HTML, you can start it, you can trigger it, and it works from there. Okay. Similarly, we can navigate other applications as well. Let us say we have the light box. So you can see here the light box comes with a CSS. I mean, it requires you to include CSS pages, the images, whatever images you want to include, then the JavaScript file which contains the minified JS as well as the expanded JS. This is the library. Don't try to change anything inside this library. Then you have the index. Now in this index, I mean, let's run it, and then we will dive deep into how it is implemented. So if we run it, you can see that this is the Lightbox application. So once you click it, it will pop up, and then if we go to the next one, it will pop up. I mean, in that way, basically, you can choose a particular image. Can you think of any popular application that uses this kind of feature? Let us say we are shopping on an e-commerce site and we want to see the images for certain product. So in the most elementary website, you will see that you will be allowed to click on the image like this one, and you will be able to see the product in a very closer way, like what are the details of the product by clicking there. And sometimes they give you different views of the same product. Let us say the front view, the back view, the side view, and so on. There can be different animations going on I mean, they can include different animations in different websites, but we are not going to discuss here. We are going to discuss the simplest part that we can implement with the jQuery. But even if it is simple, it is very useful, and it is very customer friendly. This is the way your clients can get a lot of benefits from the websites. And you can see here, to implement these websites, you do not have to you do not have to do a lot of coding. Just use an HTML and then call the jQuery API, jQuery function, and then implement it. So let's see how it is implemented. So again, this is an HTML file. So it starts with an HTML tag, then it has the head, it has the body. So this is very standard, right? Now in the section part, you include all the images. So these images are where? These images are stored inside your images folder. And then you have the thumbnail, the images thumbnail. This is the thumbnail nail here. And then you have the detail image, so you can see it here. And then you simply include the jQuery, the lightbox application to basically display this. So you don't have to write any additional code here at all. So it is that simple. So this is one. So you got the light box. Let us see. Let us say we want to do the button and dialog. So in order to understand that, let us try to display it and see its functionalities. So if we do that and then start it, you can see the featured book, and then you have the buttons and dialogues. I mean, this is a dialog screen that is opened. Now let's see how it works. Okay, so basically if we go to the code, you can see that again HTML tag, then we have a body. I mean, we have a head, we have a body. Under the body there is a section. Here we have the featured book section, h1 tag. You have the I mean, like, you have the detailed description, whatever it is. Now what you do, there is an ID called book, and then you have the book like button, so that you can click. And I mean, basically you are listening to the click event. Once the click event happens, then you see the dialog. The dialog frame shows up, and the dialog is a model dialog. That means it needs to be it needs to be closed if you want to move forward from this page. So it is here. I mean, this ID is here, so that's how we are calling it. And the dialog ID is also here. That's how you can call it, and that's the way you can move forward with this one. You can add more featured book. I mean, like, create a table and start adding the books, and you will see a lot of books are added to this particular page. So this is a button and dialog application using the jQuery. Okay, so that's another stuff, another thing which might which may be interesting to you. There can be more applications that we can talk about. One more example is the tabs. So this is you can see that let's first display the tabs, and then we can go from there. So you start the website. You can see that in tabs application means you have three tabs. You click one of them, you will see the content of the tab. You go to another tab, you add this one, another tab is here, right? So how is it coded? So it's very simple. You can see here that you have HTML tag, of course. Then you have the head. Let's make the code very transparent, so we do not have any issue with the places where different elements are attached. So here you can see that jQuery UI is given here, the reference to jQuery UI. Then you have the tab 1, tab 2 and tab 3, and then you just give the IDs there. So I mean, the script is basically jQuery UI. That is the script we are using. So how about adding an additional tab? Let's say we add another tab called tabs 4, and then if we try to add the tabs 4, things will look like this. So let's add an additional tab called tabs 4. So this one, let's put it like tabs 4. Let's say we can write here test, and then we can say under here we can write something like under the paragraph we can write that we can write anything, test 1, we can say test 2, and then we can write test 3. Okay, so if we save it and then if we run the code, then it will look like this. So you have there is something we have to change. So here we can say test, we can say it as test tab. So if we run it again, so you can see the test comes up here, and we can see whatever text we have included here is displayed here. So this is very simple, right? From the construction you can simply use the different the key factor is the tabs ID, and then this is the way you include the href, like do the hash, then you have the tabs. So once you do that, and then your jQuery UI, and here you use the script, you can say the tabs, you have to bring in the tabs ID, and everything will be automatically uploaded. So that's the beauty of this particular plugin. So we can use it as well. So of course there is a style .css, but it is pretty simple, pretty standard styles.css. So these are all interesting jQuery UI applications that are given, and we can also study the accordion. So let's first run it and then we will study it. So if we run the accordion, it will look like this. So here, so when we say the accordion, as we hover the mouse onto different sections, this will be expanded like this one. So what is jQuery? It is there. Why use jQuery? It is there. Which is harder to run, jQuery or JavaScript? So of course jQuery is easier to learn than JavaScript, but that's it. So that's your display. And if we go to the code, it is even simple. So again, you have HTML, you have nothing else here to put in the perspective. Your coding is pretty simple, HTML. Then you have the body section. Under the body section you have HTML5, so you are using this section tag, the generic section of a document application. Then you have different accordion. This accordion is the key, ID is the key, and then you put different accordion description. But then when you call the jQuery UI, you simply call this accordion API, which consists of event. Let's say mouse over, height style is content, and whatever content is there, that much height is given, and it is collapsible. So if you see collapsible equals false, let us say if I write, then it will look like this. So if we run it, you can see here that things are not collapsible. If we open, it is open, you cannot collapse it. Okay, so once you hover your mouse, they will be there for all the times your mouse is there. Once you move your mouse to somewhere else, the lower one will be gone, but the upper one will be there, but you cannot just close it. So we can do the collapsible equals true, and we can get back that function as follows. So we did that, and then if we run it, you can see that it is being collapsed. So if you do that, so this one, and then it is collapsed. So this one, and then this is collapsed. So it is done by the mouse hovering. Okay, you can also make the event as the click event as well. Here is how you can do that possibly. So in that case, you have to make it like in the past we did mouse over. Instead of that, let's make it click. So it will be listening to the click event. So once we run it, it will display, it will be displayed as follows. So what is query? You have to click it by hand. You have to click your mouse. If you hover, it doesn't work. You have to click it, then you go down, you click it, then you see everything. You click it and it will be closed. It Once you click first time, this will be open. Click second time, it will be closed. And this is the way we can navigate across it. So there are multiple flavors of how you can even display the the accordion. So this is, and we all the times we are using this very simple function, the accordion function, which takes just three arguments: event, height, style, and collapsible. What do we mean by content? It is meant that whatever the height that content will take for it to be displayed, that will be your height style. So it is extremely flexible, extremely configurable by itself. You don't have to add additional CSS, any boilerplate CSS. You don't need to do. So it is that simple if you use the jQuery libraries. So in this particular section, we have learned a lot of hands-on stuff about the jQuery libraries. And now the jQuery UI website, you can go here, jQueryui.com, and you can even see a lot of examples out there. So if you go there, jQueryui.com, you will see why the draggle. So here, so if you see accordion, for example, that's what we did just. So you can see the section, I mean different sections, like the click event, and you can view the source here. So once you view the source, basically your HTML, your I mean the jQuery calling your jQuery, everything, I mean script link, everything is included here. So all you have to do, you have to copy and paste this code onto your browser, onto your VS Code, by creating a file, jQuery, I mean JavaScript file, sorry, HTML file. But then you have to be careful about which jQuery library you are using. But in this case, it is extremely simple because we are using the URL, not the downloaded version of the library. So that is a very important stuff here. So you can see the href is given to certain path, not something which is downloaded on your machine. So there can be different different examples here. So you can see like you have the slider, spinner, tabs, tooltip, select menu, date picker, button, I mean all of the things. You can have the effect also. Let's say easing effect. If we do that, so if you click it, it will be like this. So that's pretty much it is. And then if you just open it and then copy and paste this HTML, go over it line by line to understand what it is doing, it is available to you without any problem. So that's about it. I mean you can also, I believe you will be able to find the reference to the code. I mean this is the download function, download location, so you can download your different widgets using this link, and you can include it to your JavaScript library as well. So that's how you refer to the jQuery UI. And you can see there are 4 types of features provided by jQuery UI. These are widgets, themes, interactions, and effects, right? So you can see here from the website itself, you can see interactions, the draggable, droppable, sortable, things like that. So sortable is like this. You are able to sort it by hand, by yourself. So that's the thing. Then widgets, I mean these are the gadgets. I mean the widgets are web gadgets kind of thing, utilities. So buttons is a widget, so things like that. Then you have the effect, that's what we saw just now. You have the utilities, I mean different utilities are there. You can do the position utilities, wherever you put the position, things like that. So I mean, it is example in the image cycler. So that's it. So that is your jQuery UI functionalities, and the primary folder and files in a full jQuery UI. Yeah, I mean, if you download it, it will look like this. So just this is for example illustrative purpose, and there are steps on how to build a jQuery UI download. So from the home page you have to click the download link. Just now we show you in the navigation bar. Then select or deselect interactions. I mean, whatever you want to download, you can download. To select a theme for the download, use the drop down list at the bottom of the page. So basically, if you go to the download page here, let's go to the download page. So here it is. So you have different components. You can see core components, interactions, widgets, effects, and then you can use the theme. Like I mean, you can use the UI lightness, whatever theme is based on the look and feel of the page. Let's say if we go back to the demos, there should be some way to uh, I mean to change the theme. Let us say we go to the draggable. So you can see the examples. I mean, auto scroll, constraint movement, cursor style, events handlers, all those stuff. And somehow it is not giving you example to change the theme. I mean, here are the themes. For instance, you have the theme roller. So roll down your gallery. I mean, things like that. I mean, this is one of the themes. You can include different themes as well. So from font setting, you can change the font from there to bold, and then you can have the active state. You can make it a different color. You can make it green, for example. So then it becomes green. You can make it red. That becomes red. So that's how it works, right? It's cool. And then you have different other I mean other themes available. You have the theme gallery. You can see that calendar can be of different themes. So those are the examples for the theme. So that's how you choose the themes. Now we have already discussed it in the code, so I'm not going into details about these applications. We already discussed it. So let's see. I mean, that's pretty much it is for the jQuery UI. So just go through the slides, go through the book, and then you should be able to implement your exercises for assignments for this week. If you have any question, do not hesitate to send me a message. I can reply to you, or you can ask for an office hour. I can go over the content with you over again. Okay. So happy coding for this week, and I believe that this is the last week before the exam, so final exam. So be prepared to ask any questions you might have during this week. If you have any questions for the final exam, I will give you details of the final exam before next Sunday, so you can go over it, and you have 1 week to submit the final exam. So but if you start it, you have to complete it, and there is only one chance to do the final exam. It's not multiple attempt, it's a single attempt, and that's about it. And mostly the multiple choice questions will be there for your final exam. Maybe one or two essay type questions, some maybe we will mention some missing code, you have to fill it out. We'll see how that goes. But those will be based on whatever exercises you have done within these classes, so within the previous classes. So that's about it for today. Have a nice week, and let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.